26th, at the Sibaya Casino in Durban, South Africa, a heroine steps into the hexagon with the pride of a city behind her.
Amanda Lino, she did it. Her dream has come true.
She faces an opponent like few others.
Oh, big right hand, Zouak lands it.
An athlete molded from international competition since the time she first began her schooling. Tracked through the elite sports programs of one of the world's most dominant sporting nations. Today, ready to fight for a new title in the most complete combat sport. Durban's pride, Amanda Mad Dog Lino, already the EFC Women's Flyweight Champion, takes the ultimate risk in stepping up to a higher weight division to answer a challenger's call. France's lioness, Zouak, seeks final redemption in challenging a champion, perhaps the only EFC athlete with the power and aggression to match her own. On May 26th, the first EFC Women's Bantamweight Champion will be crowned. This is the countdown to EFC 70, proudly brought to you by Keith Ho Bet Exchange.
So I was born in Westfall, currently living in Ballito, so grown up in Durban my whole life. I've got a twin sister and then a brother, he's 9 years older than me. I come from a very, very loving home. I think I learned a lot from my parents when it comes to hard work and, you know, putting in what you need to every day to make, you know, a better future for yourselves. My parents always led by example. I think where I got my heart from and my determination and my will to always put in my best, I definitely learned from them, so I'm grateful for that.
Growing up, a young Amanda Lino quickly discovered that it was sport that was her passion.
Anything to do with sports or being athletic or having the opportunity to be outside in the open, that's the biggest thing I loved about being a kid.
It was also during her teenage years that another aspect of her personality became clear to her.
So growing up, I knew that I was a little bit different, but to the point when I was 15, I realized that it was, I was gay. I wanted to come out to my family and friends.
In taking this decision, Lino set a life of courage in motion. While the revelation brought her personal freedom, it also put her at odds with other members of society.
When I was younger, I got myself into a bit of sticky situations and I had a few fights on the streets and that.
Having left home and in the midst of the tension of a young person discovering her path, Lino found herself caught in a cycle of unhealthy eating. She realized that she needed a change.
MMA has changed my life overall. I've got that mental drive and that physical drive to always want to do better and better myself as not only an athlete but as a human.
In October of 2011, Lino returned to the city of her birth and discovered that her brother had taken up the sport of mixed martial arts as a hobby. She decided to get involved. There, Lino found the discipline she felt she needed and rediscovered her passion for sports that quickly developed into a goal that ignited her life.
I think the sports itself as martial arts is beyond just fighting. Every day that you go into the gym, whether it's one thing that I learn or 10 things, you're learning every day.
She revealed a fierce warrior spirit and a tendency to unleash fury at the sound of the bell. Her amateur results read like a wrecking ball. Hadebe knocked out 12 seconds into the second round. Elliott dispatched in precisely the same way. Shabalala 15 seconds into the first. Holmstrom defeated in just 27 seconds to take the World Amateur MMA title. And back on local shores, Hadebe knocked out 18 seconds into the first round. Lino's passion had become her reality. A fighter had been born, baptized with the name that would follow her into the professional arena. Soon, EFC fans would come to know the power of Amanda Mad Dog Lino.
It's changed me overall. You know, my life is 10 times better now that I have martial arts in my life as opposed to when I didn't.
Armed with the certainty that fighting would be her lifelong passion and her chosen career, Lino stepped into a new battle, as fierce and demanding as the challenge of a flesh and blood opponent. At that time, women's MMA was only just receiving legitimacy globally, and locally, in the country of South Africa, female competitors were few and far between. On the EFC stage, pioneer Dr. Danela Elisov had opened the first women's division, proving to local fans that women's MMA was impossible to ignore. Looking on, Lino did not know that not only would she scale those same heights, she would become the organization's first champion, and later, on the 26th of May of this month, she will challenge to become the first women's two-division belt holder. But the road would not be easy. Lino entered the EFC hexagon in April of 2014. And she electrified with a debut knockout, 1 minute and 2 seconds into the first round.
Oh, but she goes down! Oh my goodness! It's a finish, and that's it! Oh, wow!
It was in her second EFC appearance, however, that the pure aggression that had helped her steamroll all opposition finally came undone.
Amanda Lino goes down, she's been caught. This is a bad spot. Looks like that is it. Got that. It's underneath the chin. It's in. She's got the hooks in. Just trying to get one of those carotid arteries open.
Most men would have been done by now. I can already tell you right now. No way Amanda Lino gets out of this.
Oh, wow.
In the ashes of her defeat at the hands of Isabella Paré, Lino would find the seed of a new journey as an athlete.
Amanda started training with me straight after a loss with Paré, and we started rebuilding Amanda to get her into a better all-round fighter.
I definitely feel like I needed that loss with Paré. I think, you know, going through your career being undefeated athlete, you know, there's only so much you can learn.
Lino set to the task of rebuilding with the grit and determination that is her trademark.
You learn far more lessons in a loss. I definitely believe that was probably the changing point for me in my career. It was probably the best thing that could have happened for me. I wouldn't be the fighter I am or the person I am today if it wasn't for that.
On the 10th of July, 2017, in her hometown of Durban, Lino finally challenged for the first ever EFC women's title. She entered the war of her life. Natural aggression and painstaking technique coming together in a spectacular battle.
Armbar, it's in! Can she get it? Can she finish it? Jackie won't give up!
Oh, she's tough.
And the new EFC Women's Flyweight Champion of the World!
Lino had reached the pinnacle of her sport, but as always, when a peak is crested, a new challenge rises into view. Born in France, in the small city of Bonn, it was as a young child that Rizlan Zouak discovered the sport that would shape her life.
I started judo at 6 years old. My professor in judo told me I'm good. It came naturally.
Identified as an exceptional talent, at the age of 14, she left the home of her parents to take up an elite sports scholarship in the city of Strasbourg, 400 kilometers to the north. She would not return home. Instead, at 17 years old, she moved to Paris to continue her judo career. She enjoyed great success as a member of the French team winning national medals in 2008 and 2010, and 7 World Cup medals overall. As with any judoka, one dream propelled Zouak forward: the chance to compete at the Olympics. But as is always the case, the road to the Olympics is long and arduous.
I was third, une French girl. It was impossible.
Competition for only 2 spots for female judokas on the French team was fierce. And to ensure her place, Zouak took up the nationality of her parents and booked her spot to fight in London, 2012, on the Moroccan team.
My best moment is opening ceremony with all athletes. It's very wow, amazing. I did my dream. I never forget this.
Unable to medal at both the 2012 and 2016 Olympics, Zouak reached a crossroads. Her spirit demanded competition at the highest level. She was ready for a new challenge.
I didn't know what is MMA. I see in the internet.
Zouak made her way to the legendary MMA factory gym in Paris and immersed herself in a world that on the surface seemed similar to that of judo, but in reality breathed to a totally different beat.
She didn't like everything about the MMA. There's a lot of talent girl in the gym, and it's like a zoo. In the pro training time, it's a wow.
Initially overwhelmed by the direct aggression and the need for new skills that expand from judo to cover any and all unarmed combat scenarios, it did not take long for Zouak to find her place.
I felt like there was an inception, something that you cannot remove in her head. When you see her move now in the cage with other girls, with other guys, in the same weight class, you can feel who is the predator in the place. She would go for the high kick, go for the fly knee, go for the elbow, go for the spinning kick. She looked just invincible.
Underneath the savage that was being created in the forge of the MMA factory was the same desire that had propelled her to the Olympics, now changed to a different beast.
For me, MMA is a revenge for judo. I never did medals in World Championship and Olympic Games. I fight for my redemption.
On the strength of her Olympic pedigree, Zouak made her professional MMA debut in July of 2016. The aptitude that the Lioness had discovered in the deep sparring pool of the MMA factory, and the steel that she had forged as a judoka since childhood, translated perfectly. Zouak decimated her first opponent, and at the same time, alerted the world to a new talent. The EFC organization took notice and invited her to Johannesburg to face another judoka, Unmi Ojawoli, at EFC 62. For the first time, EFC fans got a direct taste of the power and aggression of Zouak. Her performance blended the old with the new. Using her judo skills, she smashed Ojawoli to the ground and finished the fight with a new art of MMA.
That has to be it, yeah, absolutely. There it is! Great performance. And Zouak's going to be right there on the top of the heap.
She returned to Africa 4 months later, this time to face recent title contender Jacqueline Trossier. Zouak improved on her previous performance, dropping Trossier in just 27 seconds.
That has to be it! Oh my goodness! Good night, Evolution!
In just over a year, Zouak had announced herself as a devastating new force on the world stage, and a savage competitor within the EFC ranks. Her power and explosiveness were unmatched, except by one woman, who competed in a weight division below her own. The EFC Women's Flyweight Champion, holder of the women's EFC record for the fastest knockout at just 10 seconds. One Amanda, Mad Dog, Lino. Although they competed in different weight classes, a match between Zouak and Lino seemed marked by destiny. On May 26th at Sabaya, Durban, they will finally face each other.
A personal trainer will be like, how can you be eating this? You're going to be fat and X, Y, and Z because they've got a client that, maybe overweight. But how do you personally know, as a personal trainer, what it takes to go from being fat to being in shape if you've never done it yourself? I've had to cut weight, I've been fat, I've had to lose weight, I've done it.
As the EFC World Women's Flyweight Champion, Lino has taken a prominent place in her community, sharing the knowledge and confidence she has gained from her fight career to all those around her.
MMA has given me the opportunity to change my own life, but at the same time be changing other people's lives. You obviously know what ability you have, but when you see it in someone else, when they give themselves that little bit of a chance and they just grow, it's incredible. They inspire me on a daily basis.
Her work extends beyond fitness and nutrition. Safety and well-being are vital components also.
From that three, just going to squeeze nice and tough. I'm going to dump down into my base. From there, I'm going to move my head around, so breaking my head through the arms, and then stepping backwards. Practice. Go 5 each. Off the leg. Go.
It makes a great impact, especially for women. I think it gives us all that extra bit of encouragement to do what we want to do, because we know it is achievable at the end of the day.
Lino is inspired by those she trains, and in turn seeks to inspire others by sharing her message of courage and displaying that courage when she fights for those she loves.
She just wants to make everyone proud. That's Amanda. The minute she wins that belt, the minute she's standing in that crowd, the only people she thinks about is family and the friends and the people that are there, the people that are constantly supporting her, that are there every single day, that are training there with her, encouraging her, messaging her, finding her. Those are the people that she does it for.
Two years ago, at roughly the same time as Lino began her professional martial arts career, she took a greater commitment in her spiritual path, making weekly worship an integral part of her routine. On the 26th of May, when she steps out in front of her home Durban crowd to fight for her second EFC title, she will not be alone. Rather, she will be supported by a dream that she brings into the hexagon with her. It is a dream of greatness for herself and all those she holds dear.
The team around me are the ones that make me the happiest. When you're going through a tough day, when you saw and it's those last little stretches before the fight, it does get tough. No one can sit here and say that this career or the sport is easy, but we lean on those people and they carry you through.
Her task at EFC 70 will be the largest she has yet faced, in a career already soaring high. It is a task she shoulders in the same way that she fights and lives. Head on, with full commitment.
I'm going to go in there and give everything I have, give even more than 100%, because I believe that there's no other option for me. I'm going to walk into that cage and get that title. If she wants to come in there thinking that she's going to knock me out, she's got another thing coming on the night.
Give me the impression that I won't scratch your surface.
Welcome to it. You tuned into East Coast Radio. Hang out with me, Erin D, and I've got Amanda Mad Dog Lino in studio with me. You've moved up a weight class from your last fight, so things must be super intense.
I train with a lot of heavy guys, so for me, being up against someone that will be heavier, isn't really something new.
I got a phone call from Amanda Lino out of the blue saying, Mr. G, I want to fight Zouak. And I was totally taken back. At first I rejected it. I said, no way. I mean, this girl's a whole weight class above you. Why would you want to fight her? And after, her telling me exactly what was going on social media, I went onto social media, looked at it myself, and saw that Rizlan had actually called out Amanda. Their management was pushing for a fight for a long time. They were trying to get a legitimate title fight. And they saw Amanda Lino, the female in the division, and they wanted to fight her at all costs. But they weren't willing to compromise on the weight. So in going back to Amanda and saying, listen, they're not going to move on the weight situation, you're going to have to go up to bantamweight, she said, with pleasure. Let's do this.
Amanda Lino versus Rizlan Zouak is a fight birthed by a clash of weight divisions, and one that turns on certain key elements.
I asked her to come down to flyweight because it's my division. I believe she can. I think if she put a little bit more work into her camp and her dieting, that she would be able to make it. It shows a bit of weakness in her. The fact that you're not willing to push yourself even further than you think you can go. If it was me and someone asked me to drop the weight division, I would have done it.
Zouak's response is simple.
I can fight in flyweight. Look, I can.
Zouak's camp, however, are fully aware of the bold move that Lino is making.
I think she's tough. She's coming from flyweight. This is brave. She's a brave girl. She's coming with that mentality, that's badass mentality. And I really love that because Rizlan know how to respond to the badass mentality.
Come fight night, the fact that Zouak is an Olympian cannot be ignored.
I think her strengths are going to be her judo. She's going to come in thinking that that's going to be her strength, but it's going to play to her downfalls. This is MMA. I'm here to be the best MMA fighter in EFC. I'm not here to be an Olympic judo fighter.
We're talking about kickboxing, ground and pound, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. When she hits the ground and she starts getting hit in the face, it's going to change the game.
It's logic she work distance, but no problem. I have a lot of weapons.
Where Zouak has the weight and judo advantage, there is certainly an area in which she could easily be vulnerable.
She's going to run out hard, try and get the knockout in the first 10 or 20 seconds. And the problem is she's not going to get it. And when the rounds go on, she's going to feel what a real fight is. She's going to get tired, she's going to get dragged, and Amanda gets stronger as the rounds go on. That's the difference.
Despite the intricacies, as with all matchups, one characteristic is key. It is confidence that propels both warriors into battle.
Rizlan is easy the toughest opponent that Amanda never faced. Obviously, she don't know that. I mean, if she knew that, she would not accept the fight. She believed, and that's good to be a believer. But if Rizlan unleash 60% of the really Rizlan in the gym, there will be a mess. If I was Amanda, I probably would have not taken the fight.
I'm there to take the title, and I want to take it from the very best Rizlan that she possibly can give me. When I walk out that cage with that title, I know that I had earned it and I deserved it.
Everything is already waiting. What will happen, will happen.
On the 26th of May, France's lioness, Rizlan Zouak, reaches a milestone that has been her destiny since she was 6 years old. A life of training, competition, victory, and defeat, finally crystallizing into one moment and the chance to become champion. South Africa's Amanda Lino, EFC's women's flyweight champion, steps up to face her in a move that means more than challenging for a second title. Rather, it is a statement that echoes the message Amanda carries to all that she meets. Nothing is impossible, and any person is capable of any dream. At EFC 70, courage is tested when Lino and Zouak finally meet.
Welcome to the era of Amanda Lino. Put that belt around the waist she earned.
first ever women's champion. She is an absolute phenom.
Rislin, the lioness of the Atlas, Zouak!
Rislin Zouak is an entire weight division above Amanda Lino and called her out. And Amanda said, you know what? Let's do this.
On Saturday, 26 May, South Africa's Mad Dog meets the Lioness from Morocco for the Women's Bantamweight Championship of the World. EFC 70, Sibaya, Durban. Tickets and broadcast information at efcworldwide.com.